The Mystic Forge, that you might also have heard called Mystic Toilet, is one of the key mechanisms down on Tyria. The reason behind this rather belittling nickname is the fruit of its foremost function. It is, simply put, a gambling system for in-game items. Beyond using it as a gambling tool, a lot of players have conducted what could be called either extensive research or pure madness by using the Forge. What this enabled, however, was the use of the Mystic Forge as a tool to build certain profits over a period of time, which is what is leading us to making this video today. And I say us because I don't make these videos, we make them based on your feedback and your ideas. Without further ado, we get to the intro. The most evident working of the Forge is in its capacity to upgrade items to the next tier. There is a 20% chance for said upgrading to happen. This should already make you understand a bit more why the nickname of Mystic Toilet was that common for the Forge in its first couple of years of existence. Indeed, the most common way to use it was to attempt to forge a precursor by throwing either rare or exotic weapons endlessly, only to be rewarded by one of the expensive weapons. However, that mechanism works on quite everything, which was severely overlooked for years on end before the seemingly infinite gold tricks were made public. Just about anything can be forged, from materials to weapons and upgrades. A lot of videos were made on the topic, but never really touched the best methods, and instead pretending that forging runes or sigils together was great gold making, provided you automatized it somehow. I got a fair amount of backlash when I released the doubloons forging method, as a few individuals made money off of it. Today, I won't really spend much time on the upgrading aspects of the Mystic Forge, as it has been covered in said video that I will link in the comments section in the pinned post. If you do wish to know more, you can ask any question and I will go through them here or on Discord. The great thing about the Mystic Forge is that, just like crafting, it bears a few recipes that can be used by any player, but also receives updates from Marinernet. I will now go over the most common of them in a specific order, as my goal is to allow you to start from low and build up your fortune by following these recipes as a guide based on your level of wealth. You have 0 to 50 gold. My first advice to you at this stage will be to start by building up some starting capital. You can do so very easily by farming in the Silver Waste at the good old river paves. Another option that you can go for would be the meta events on the expansion maps, but this does require you to own the expansions. You have between 50 and 500 gold. Now we have some good options being offered to us for profits. First, we will go over the hybrid method and then focus purely on Mystic Forge ones. The first option is crafting a Mystic Salvage Kit. You can do so with a rare kit, a Masterwork one, a fine one, to which you would add a Mystic Forge Stone that you can get from Black Lion chests or daily reward boxes. These kits act as 250 charges rare salvage kits, and using them you can salvage quite a few rares or exotics and thus gather globs of ectoplasm at a profit. Remember though that for this to work, you need to buy your rares at a price that is lower than 74% than the price at which you would sell your ecto. The math behind this is the TP taxes, so 15%, and the ecto salvaging rate from rares, which is 87.5%. This means, for instance, that right now with ectos at over 20 silver you would buy your rares below 15 silver. Method number 2. Some recipes make use of seasonality, and one of them is particularly good for low-income players, the backpack crafting using the Lunar New Year rare back pieces. This recipe costs you less than 6 gold for a selling price above 8 gold if you can wait a few months. I know that cash isn't always easy, but this method sure makes it this way. Method number 3. Using the simple material upgrade recipes. The most common ones are the fine material upgrading recipe, as well as the coarse to lodestones. However, the real winner of this game is with basic materials. What this method requires, however, is the use of spirit shards that you will use to acquire philosopher stones or mystic crystals. Then again, unless you're struggling with this particular commodity, you will do just fine. it is hard to go through more than a dozen of these in a regular forging session. The recipe is always as follows: a specific amount of a given tier of a material, a single material of the higher tier, dust, and the item you'll have purchased with your spirit shards. When in doubt, you can refer to the wiki before making a potential mistake. Method number 4. If you lean towards the higher end of the 500 gold mark, you can look into some weapon recipes. They are available on the wiki, and while you might feel interested in the cheaper ones, do remember that these also cost spirit shards. As such, it is better to aim for the better profit per amount of spirit shards spent beyond simply cheaping out. Resources are at your disposal to make an informed choice, such as on GW2 Efficiency or Silver's website. You can also use GW2 Profit, which is my go-to in this situation. Method number 5. Still at that price point, we recently got a forge upgrade that you could check out. Indeed, alongside the fiasco of the mithril dumping into the hands of the Mystic Hobo, we got to unlock a few recipes and a new gambling system using the ectoplasmic stone. For the small cost of 25 ectos, easily acquirable with our very first method from this list, you can forge weapons that have a pretty decent return, which makes it suitable as a gamble, but a bit less as a surefire method. Use this at your own risk. You are above the 500 gold mark. First of all, why are you still here? All the methods mentioned before still work for you to keep building that capital. But maybe you don't want to live that grindy life anymore and wish to turn down the hustling. Then I have a few ideas for you. Method number 6. We mentioned skin making earlier. Well, the recipes keep scaling up. Some skins sell in the hundreds of gold and also take up to a few hundreds for the making. I'm thinking about weapons like the Guardian Spirit skins, the Elementalis Conjurer skins, other expensive weapons like Infinite Light, for instance. You can also go towards the Halloween weapons, as they offer very good profit provided you gather the materials during the event, especially the gifts. Method number 7. Another one that I will be putting here is making infusions and or swapping their stats. It is not a great seller, but it does provide a decent stream of income. The differences between orders or sell prices on the more expensive infusions often allows you to grab a few dozen gold upon what we will call a successful flip. Crafting infusions is also doable via the polyluminescent refractors, but the profit margins have severely dwindled. Keep an eye out for opportunities. Method number 8. If you're touching the bigger heights gold-wise, you can turn towards the more expensive crafted skins that are available on the market, such as Night Fury or even legendaries, provided you have the gift of mastery readily available. These will net you amazing profits, but at the risk of your offer being stuck for a long while on the trading post. Now, with all of these methods explained, you should have a solid grasp on how to make gold with the Mystic Forge. Beyond its function as a randomizer, it is a good tool to have scalable profits as long as you follow a strong, laid-out plan and stick to it. It is also good to make sure that you mix these methods with some other gold-making routines such as crafting or flipping. Nothing comes to the lazy among us, but as you just saw, a little push can grant you riches. Now, before we end this video, I would like to thank all of my wonderful patrons for making this content possible. Their support is what motivates me to keep on going with these more complex and time-consuming guides. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments section. I read everything, even if I don't answer it all. If you need more insights on how to calculate profit margins, we have other videos and some specific Excel sheets to help you in your decision making. As a last word of sorts, I would like to emphasize one thing: you don't need to pay for this kind of guide. I've seen a recrudescence of content makers who offer coaching, but back in my days we had resources readily available and paying forums were often just a glorified version of what everyone could have access to. I am back to bring balance in Tyria, one guide at a time. And now I wish every single one of you some happy trading and to get rich.